Next, we'll add a defeated system for the player. Right now, when we press play and we go and we get hit by the spikes, our HP goes down, but when it reaches below 0, it just keeps going down and going to the minus. And this has an issue because we're not dying, and that way there is no punishment for getting really hit. So we'll fix that next. First, we'll go to the player blueprint, and in here we will go to the getHit function, and after we minus the HP, what we want to do is we want to check if it equals 0 or less than 0. So we will type in less or equal, and then it's already 0, so that's what we want, and then we create a branch. Connect that, and now every time we get hit, it will check if we are 0, which means we're defeated, and if we are, it will show true. So let's go back to the event graph, and in here, let's create a custom event and call it defeated. And so now we go back to the getHit function, and if it's true that we are equaling 0 for our HP, we will call the defeated function. So now we go to the defeated function, and just for testing, let's print string and type in defeated. Save and compile, and then press play. And now, when we go and get hit, now we get the defeated function. Now let's remove the print, and the first thing we want to do, you saw earlier we got several prints every time we got hit. We don't want that because we want to only get the defeated function once. So just like before, we will do once. And this will ensure whatever happens after do once only will happen one time. So what we will do here is we will create a widget and then add that to the viewport. Save and compile. And we will create a new widget now. And we go to the UI folder. And instead of making a new one, we can just copy the All Stars Collected widget, as it will have many similar. So we will right click and duplicate. And we will call this one Game Over. And now open that up, dock it here, save and compile. We can go back to the player and make sure to put it here. Game over. Save and compile. And now just for testing, just to make sure it's working, we will go and try to die. So we get hit, hit, hit. And we got this now. But of course, this is all incorrect what it's saying. We want it to be a game over screen. So we'll go back and we will open up the widget. And first thing is we will remove the stars. So we delete those and we will change the text to game over. And we change the size to something a little bit bigger, to 180. And we'll move it up to position Y of 300. We'll select the buttons down here and move those up a little bit as well. And we will set the text to red, so it feels like it's something negative. So now when we save and compile, and we press play, and we try to die again, we get the game over screen. But it's a little bit too sudden and doesn't feel so nice the way it's appearing. So we'll go back and let's add a fade in animation for this widget. With widgets, there's a cool thing you can do. Down here, there's a button called Animations, and if you click on it, this UI comes up, and we can add animations to widgets. And you can do all kinds of things with this. We will do something very simple where we'll just have a fade-in animation. So we'll create a new animation by clicking here, and we'll call it Fade In. Select that, and currently we have nothing here. Basically, all the elements that we want to change should be here, And anyone who's used a video editing software will know this here, which is basically like a timeline. And so here, we can either select it from a menu, or a much easier way is to go into the hierarchy, select the thing you want to change. In this case, it's the canvas. We go back to the animation, and then when we press add, it will show the selected UI element. So we'll select the canvas panel, and now we have it here. And then when we press here on this plus button, it will show us the different things we can change in the animation. So what we want to change is the render opacity. So currently it's 1, and we have a keyframe over here at the start of 0, 0. And we will have the animation go up to 2 seconds. And to create a new keyframe, we click on this plus button over here. And now we have it going from 0 to 2 seconds. But currently nothing will happen because both values of these keyframes are 1. So we will start with the 0 and set it to 0 over here. And now when we go to 2, it will fade in. And to test the animation, you can press on the play button over here, and then you see it. And that's much better. But right now, as you can see, everything is hidden, and even if we start working with the UI, we can't see things anymore. And the reason this is happening is because when you go back to the animations tab, we're still having the fade in selected, and it's saying it right here as well. So make sure to unselect it to put everything back to normal. And right now, nothing will happen when we get game over screen because we need to also play this animation when we get a game over screen. So we go to the graph, and in here, after the set game paused, we will call play animation. And we have to put an animation here too. So after we've created that animation, we get a new variable here, and it shows the fade in animation. So we can drag and get that here, and then we connect it to animation in, and now we save and compile. And now when we press play and we get defeated, we get a nice fade in for the game over screen. Finally, one last thing we want to do is we change the buttons over here. So we go back to the designer, and in here we change the continue to retry. Save and compile. And now we go to this function that we previously created for onClick. And instead of remove from parent, we will remove this is restart the level. So we can do this by getting the current level name. And then we open level by name. And now we just connect this to here. And so it will get the current level name and then open that up again. Now we press save, compile, and we go and die. When we get the game over screen and we press the retry button, the game restarts. And that's it for this lesson.